Welcome to Love, Life, and Marriage with the Woods. I'm Saiko.
And I'm Sharon.
And welcome to our channel. Please do the follow. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell at the bottom of this video. That way, whenever we go live, post any content, you'll be one of the first to view it. Also, if you'd like to support this ministry financially, you can do so by selecting any of the donation links below. If you'd like to support the ministry through the BCV merchandise, the link is located below this video as well. This is part 2 where we left off of We're Unequally Yoked. And if you were with us last time, we discussed the difference between being unequally yoked and being incompatible. There are two different things. And so we were basically on a roll, but we had to cut it short because we had arrived at church. Well, now we are leaving church, but at the time you see this video, we're not at church. But anyway, so but my wife was in a roll, and she was about to get in her little pocket and said that she had some other things that she wanted to discuss. So knowing my wife and my children knowing their mother, we know that she has to get her stuff out before she forgets. So you got the floor, dear. And then after her, then we're going to have a discussion with our 2 daughters about dating or pre-arranged parental relationships prior to marriage and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, one is for, the other one's not necessarily for, but we think that'd be a great conversation for us to hear, and to basically for you also to lean in and hear this discussion. So anyway, Ms. Woods, go right ahead. So we were talking about incompatibility, things of that nature. You said there's some other things that people need to consider, you know, regarding whether or not you're compatible or incompatible with a fellow believer.
Yes. So I was going to add the fact that...
And your mic is on, right? Yes. All right. You're hot.
That
really hot. What you rolling your eyes for? Your mama, girl. Your mama fine. I would go ahead.
That I think we kind of touched on it, but you need to like the person that you are with.
Okay. You
cannot be in a
come on now, come on. Take your time with it, but come on, get it out.
It's like we were talking about roommates, okay?
Yeah.
Roommates they exist with one another. And I think it's important. That's why we said that premarital counseling is so important. And I mean true premarital counseling. I don't mean people who just barely scratch the surface.
Okay, well, break it down then. So you're talking about premarital counseling.
You need to talk about real life issues. You need to talk about, you know, how does this person act when they're upset or when they're angry about something? What does this person do when things don't go their way?
Okay.
Because you're not
how to handle conflict?
My goodness, yes.
Okay, well.
How to handle conflict.
All right.
And if y'all need to be on the same page as far as how you resolve conflict, because if you don't have the ability to communicate, then you're not going to be able to resolve conflict. You're going to keep continuously sweeping things under the rug and not dealing with the issues, and then just want to move on and talk about it's a happy life because you don't want to address whatever issues there may be.
Okay.
Okay, so what about, we talked about, you know, incompatibility. We were talking about that.
Right.
I believe that wives, we set the tone.
Go ahead and get it out, Myra. Go ahead.
Oh
it's okay. Go ahead and get it out, baby. Go on, get it out, baby. Go ahead, sneeze it out. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Yep. You want me to get? You want a snot rag?
Oh.
Here's another one. Here's another one. Here, take it, please. All right. What else, dear?
I was saying. Now I gotta remember what I was saying.
I knew it. Good Lord.
What did I just say now?
I was listening to you.
Anyway, you were talking about handling conflict and how.
But I said something after that.
Roommates. Yes.
No, I went after that.
You
I
have
said
to like each other.
That was the first thing.
Yeah.
I told y'all.
It's depth counseling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I said that, but I said something else right after that.
And you don't remember that, huh? And you just
hold on, wait.
Just went blank, huh?
Wait.
Okay. This would be a good time for a commercial break.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So let's just go ahead then, dear. All right. So Myra and Nala, if you get to it, yeah. So Myra and Nala, we're gonna go right to you. You had mentioned, Nala, that you don't have a problem with, or you have no problem with your mother and I being involved in what in what phase of your relationship? How about that? In what phase of your relationship? Let's take my mic off. Make sure you can.
No, don't do that. I can speak loud. You do that first part.
Well, you need to speak louder because when I play these videos back, people need to hear your voice, ma'am.
Want me to yell?
Yeah, do you? Do you know how to do that?
I know how to yell.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, let's see.
I yell all the time.
Okay, we're waiting.
I forgot what you asked me. I'm sorry.
I just asked you at what phase or what part of your relationship, if you're with someone, do you desire for us to engage or involve ourselves in? You say you have no problem with prearranged, marriages or relationships, something like that leads to marriage with us.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Okay, why don't you mind that?
Because sometimes it gets tiring.
It gets tired. Oh, so you want to do the work?
Yeah. And then just tell me.
Yeah, right.
No, don't tell me. First,
Right.
show me a picture, and then don't tell me who they're related to. And then, yeah.
So you want us to go into the Far East and Eastern culture, huh? You want to just like, okay, here, like them.
No, like, I'm pretty sure some of your favorite friends got something.
That's funny.
Got something.
It looks dark back there, doesn't it?
I don't know, dear.
The sun's not reflecting.
Focus, dear. Focus.
But anyway, I wouldn't mind that because it's, like I said, it does get tiring, and then also y'all know me.
I'm taking the mic off. Yep, we know you. It gets tiring, and what else?
Y'all know what I look. Y'all know what I want. Y'all know what I look for. So, particularly mom. So I feel like she's not gonna screw me over.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So then you're basically saying that you have no problem with that. But now, you and Myra, have y'all talked about that before?
Yes.
And y'all disagree?
She thinks I'm crazy.
She thinks you're crazy. Why does she think you're crazy?
Because, like, it sounds like something people in the
Middle East
would do, not someone modern, like in the modern day, would do.
Okay. All right. So Myra, what are your thoughts about what your sister just said?
I don't have any thoughts.
You have a perspective, or you have a perspective regarding relationships. I mean, you like boys, right?
No, I like men.
Boom.
Okay. All right. Okay then. So there's a difference between a boy and a man. What's the difference between a boy and a man, Miss Myra? There you go. All right.
That's a lot of things.
Ladies and gentlemen, she took the mic. All right. Go ahead. Proceed. It's already on.
Oh.
Don't mess up my screen now. Come on.
I mean, yeah, I was just finding
What's the difference between a
my
boy and a man? You said, I don't like boys, I like men. You said that, so that opens up the conversation.
You're opening a lot of rabbit holes here.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Well, I had no problem shooting the rabbits.
Just make the
Make your
distinction.
point.
Make the distinction.
Make your point, ma'am. Make your point.
To you, what's the difference?
Yeah, what's the difference for you?
Maturity.
Meaning?
Maturity.
You're 20 years old, so what do you look for in a mature man? Less than a quarter of your life has now been spent. What do you look for in a man that's mature? What does maturity mean for you? There's a lot of dead air right now. Can we get an answer, please, ma'am?
Communication, I guess.
Yes. Okay. What kind of communication?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, listen. We're talking because if you and your sister disagree regarding parental involvement in your relationships, then that means or presupposes you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, I don't need help.
You don't. So you don't need our help.
No.
Okay. Why you don't need our help? Why do you believe you don't need our help in helping you choose a mate?
Because I don't need you to.
Okay. And Nala, you said that you need us to, or you.
She doesn't mind.
You don't mind.
I don't mind, but like, don't be like overstepping.
Okay, well, I'm not. We wouldn't overstep. I mean, but y'all do understand whoever you involve, it affects our family. So should there be some level of involvement in that?
You can be involved, but like, kind of. I know it's different.
You have slight input. That's it.
Okay, so I'm all ears. I am literally all ears. I want to know.
I feel like it would be different if, I know since like they're boys, I know it's different. But I don't think you're gonna be how you are with Jamari and Kier.
Okay.
I feel like y'all are gonna be way more involved.
Because
they're
y'all,
men.
you're females, y'all are girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be. And Myra, you have an issue with that a little bit, right? Or you have a perspective with that?
Sure.
Well, I'm asking.
We're gonna talk. Give me a thing. Anyway. Jimmy, can you know how me and Myra are when it comes to what is it? Because, like she said, y'all can be involved just to a certain extent.
Okay. And what extent is that?
If I ask, I ask.
Okay. But what extent is I'm saying?
Like, in other words, if we come to you, that's us asking for your input. If we don't, stay out of it.
Okay. So, do y'all understand that whoever you involve yourselves with affects this family?
Yeah, you already actually said yes.
But I'm saying, do y'all understand the seriousness and the weight of that?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you feel that, I'm trying to adjust it there, please. Can I do that? Okay. So if you feel that, to a certain degree, so that way we know, because I'm not trying to. I don't need to be in every facet, but when it comes to your safety, when it comes to worldview, when it comes to philosophy and those things like that, yeah, I'm going to be involved.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Oh, here we go. She already got a mic. She already got one.
No, Dad, take it back.
Oh, go ahead, Sharon.
I was saying about how we as women and wives, how we set the thermostat in the household,
Okay.
how we set the tone for things in the household. And what I mean by that is it kind of goes both ways. When we're talking about compatibility and incompatibility, we have to think about, does this person, and I'll speak from the wife's perspective, does this man make me feel secure? Do I feel wanted? Do I feel appreciated? Does he show those type of things to you even prior to, let's say you're engaged? There are a lot of traits that you can see in a person even before you say I do.
Okay.
And it goes back to how a person treats you.
Okay.
And I know, speaking from my own personal experience, that I knew that I wasn't making a mistake marrying you because the way you treated me prior to us even getting married.
Okay.
You demonstrated leadership. You demonstrated a strong character. You demonstrated work ethic. You demonstrated that you appreciated the things that I did do for you before we got married.
Okay.
So I think all of those things play a role in choosing who your mate is going to be.
Okay.
Because you're going to be with this person forever.
Yeah.
And you can't say, irreconcilable differences or we're unequally yoked because your spouse doesn't do A, B, C, and D.
Right.
when you didn't go through the checklist prior to.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a one-sided relationship.
Yeah. What about, you mentioned about leadership, so the leadership aspect.
Yes.
Both of them are Christians, but the husband is not as assertive in his role as leading the family as the woman is. The woman seems to be more of the assertive one.
Okay, she has a stronger personality.
Stronger personality. She's a strong personality. She's the one that's kind of like leading the house, or basically, yeah, it's kind of like you know the outgoing one, or you know, which could you know, depending on the relationship.
Yeah, that could present a problem, but excuse me, I think a real Christian woman would, as she grows and matures, will know how to curtail that. She'll know how to dial it back a little bit so that she's not so dominant in the marriage, and she can't per se help her husband lead, but I would think you would also want to cover him in prayer and kind of encourage him to be around men who lead.
What if you have, okay, so there has been, like, one of the questions was raised in our new membership class, right? The question was raised, what do you do, or what advice would you give if the wife, and I saw this question also on Twitter, but, well, it was somewhat the same, but it's a little bit slight dynamic. But what do you do, or what would you advise if the wife goes to a different church than the husband, and the church that the husband goes to is not sound, it's not biblically sound? Should that wife follow her husband, or should that wife, you know, lovingly be willing to obey God, and you know, whatever comes out of that comes from that? And I guess the question now is, when we say sound, because that can, for some people, what do you mean by sound? So if the church is not doctrinally sound when it comes to, it's heretical, it's not doctrinally sound when it comes to roles of men and women, how they deal with sin, you know, those kinds of things. The leadership is, like you said, it can be either heretical leadership. Yes, teaching heresy. Yeah, it could be a Jehovah's Witness church. It can be a church that is.
Then to me, that's you're asking.
Oh, like a Jamal Bryant's church. I mean, let's just go there. You know, like New Birth or something like that.
That's like you asking the wife to participate in sin.
Okay.
In my mind.
Okay, so what was I mean? Do you think that the wife should, you know, or do you think that couple should continue on in that relationship? Because now we're talking about dating, and then you're talking about maybe if they've gotten married.
If they're dating, then no.
Okay.
You still have time to get out.
Still have time to get out.
But if you're married, that's a sticky situation. Because,
so what would you do? Should that woman submit? Do you think the woman should submit, or should she, you know, continue to go to? Should she follow that husband, or should she follow what the Word of God says?
I would not encourage it myself, because if you're doing that, then you're opening up the door for your wife to be indoctrinated in error.
Okay.
So to me, you're not protecting her at that point.
So submission has
it has a stopping point, because you are to submit to him as he follows Christ.
Right.
So if he's not following Christ, he's following a different Jesus, then no, I don't think I have to submit to that.
No, you don't. And it's not that you think. No, you don't. You do not have to submit to that. So that would be.
So I wouldn't encourage that.
Yeah.
But I know in that situation, that's going to be a hard road for some women to travel, and a hard decision for them to make, because you just don't want to, I guess, cause conflict, because it's gonna cause
It's gonna
conflict.
be, I think that's
It's gonna cause conflict.
yeah.
Period.
So that goes back to what we're talking about how you deal with conflict.
Yeah.
Some things are unavoidable.
Right. You have to address certain things.
Yeah, some things
certain things you can't just overlook. You know, it has to be addressed, and y'all have to have a sit down conversation, and you may have to bring in a third party.
Yeah. So, okay, so we addressed that. Oh, there was a state trooper.
Wow.
So we addressed that. We addressed, you know, Myra and Nala for much they wanted to discuss, and that. What else? We want to make sure that people understand the finance thing. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So we did a little bit in part one, but so what if, again, we're talking about Christians.
There was we didn't talk about the post that was made, right? Weren't we supposed to talk about that? If the wife made more money or something like that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And we've already had that issue. Not with us.
No, the wife makes more money with that, yeah.
Right.
You know. This woman made $400,000 a year. I think she's making $400,000
in the scenario.
In the scenario,
yes.
The husband makes $40,000.
Something like that. Yeah. It was a whole lot less, though.
Right. Her husband makes $40,000, and I don't know if the girls want to chime in on that. They can if they want to.
So, how does?
Should she submit?
Should she submit to him, and should he have? Well, should he have final say in finances because he is the head of the household, regardless of who makes how much money? Right. And my personal opinion, I don't think there should be any separate bank accounts and things like that, because you're setting yourself up for things like that.
Right.
That was a piece of advice that my mother gave me that I will never follow. But
elaborate on that. What did you do? So for the record, for those that may not.
She gave it to me because her mama gave it to her, and she
so we're talking about traditions. Sometimes traditions can be.
Sometimes traditions are not worth being kept. Okay. My grandmother told my mom to always have your own money because you never know. And that generation, especially my grandmothers and beyond or before, they did not discuss things like this. They didn't have these open discussions. They didn't. Now, when they got married, they stayed married. Yeah. Regardless, whatever happened, happened. Your husband cheated, the wife cheated. Regardless, they stayed. They stuck it out. But she told my mom to always have your own money. Therefore, when my mom got married, she stashed money all over the house. I mean, from the outside to the inside.
I remember that.
Yes.
I remember
from
that.
the garage to next to the dryer to her bedroom and her drawers, you know, envelopes in the kitchen. Of course, I knew where all of them were, but at least I thought I did. But yeah. There's probably something I never found. but yeah, so, and she told me that. She's like, make sure that you always have a little money for yourself. Now, when I was, you know, out in the world, of course, I held to that standard. You know, I never went anywhere with any guy without money. Right. Because I didn't want to get stranded somewhere. Yeah. You know, but once I got married, and even before we got married, we had a joint bank account. Yes. And I don't think either one of us had a lack of trust as to whether or not one of us was going to take off with the other one's money. No. So, in my mind, even if she's making $400,000 and he's making $40,000, those accounts come together, and whoever's better at finances, that's who manages the money, whether it be the husband or the wife. It doesn't matter which one of y'all do it. Whoever's gifted in finances, you know, orchestrates the money. And which would go back to submission, leadership, and understanding the purposes of roles. So if that woman who makes $400,000 is able to submit under that man's authority, making $40,000, then praise God. Right. But both better be able to count the costs
that are involved in that kind of relationship, because the moment or nanosecond that the statement or the term "it's my money" comes out, that's a problem.
Yeah. That's going to be a huge problem.
That's a problem. That should never ever come out of anyone's mouth in a marriage.
Right.
Because what that says now is that you're the one that basically is calling the shots based on how much or who brings the most in.
Right.
So the whole idea of oneness now has been tarnished.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that can it be done? Yeah, it can be done.
It's still going to be a hard dynamic, because sometimes I think the husband is going to at some point feel inadequate.
Yeah. Because
he's not providing the way he thinks he should for his family. And he knows that if the wife quits working, he's not going to be able to carry the household the way she did.
Which means then now that you're going to have to live within the means, or have to, put yourself in a category to where either that money is being stacked up and saved up, and that couple is willing to live in a means or a level where they're not living that $400,000 lifestyle. I mean, again, because couples are going to marry within their understanding of relationships and within their class. Just the facts. Because again, nowadays, you have women making money, and some may make more money than men. But like you said, a man is going to want to provide for his family, or do whatever he can to increase his marketability, his skills and things of that nature, to the best that he can.
And then if they get into an argument or a disagreement, and she throws out the "I'm carrying this family," kind of thing.
Yeah, back to my money thing.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard issue.
What about prenuptials? Prenuptial agreements?
Yeah, I don't like those.
Should Christians have a prenup in a marriage?
Man, that's another whole topic.
Well, it deals with the issue of being unequally yoked or being incompatible. Again, if you're unequally yoked, that applies to a Christian and an unbeliever.
To me, that says that I don't trust you.
Okay.
That says to me that I'm going to protect myself because you might leave me.
Okay.
Because when you become one, it's not your assets anymore. It's y'all's assets. Right.
I agree. So, but this is why I believe in these types of relationships, and even with the girls, if they're dating somebody for the purpose of marriage, these should be some questions and some conversations that they should be willing to have with the individual that they are seeking to have a relationship with, leading up to marriage, because they don't know everything. Our children may think they know everything, but they don't.
Right.
And that's just life. We've been on the planet longer than they have, and so have other parents been on the planet longer than their children have. And God has given us, parents for the purpose of instilling wisdom. Now, if they listen, fine. If they don't, okay. But understand, choices have consequences with that. And I believe that that's what a lot of our people in the church need to understand as well. Is that when we talk about these topics and these issues of compatibility and incompatibility, you're gonna have other things that may come down the pike that you may not be aware of, because you're not gonna know everything.
Right.
But the basics are some of the things you should be able to know. And so I think that is important for us to be able to discuss, and for people to have a biblical understanding on what it means to be unequally yoked versus being incompatible. Yeah. If you're not compatible, the best thing you can do is let that person know in advance, ahead of time, instead of just going through the motions. Yes. Again, if you like sports, and if you really are a sports fanatic or whatever like that, and the person is not, that's going to be a problem.
Right.
If you like to shop and that individual is conservative with their money, they don't have a problem going shopping, but to whereas you just every weekend you just got to go shopping, or that person feels that, hey, this money can be used, you know, and can be saved. Let's just, you know, live on a budget or whatever the case might be.
Right.
If your philosophies are not meshing,
and you have to have the same end goal.
yeah,
Y'all have to have, you know, if y'all are trying to reach a goal that you're trying to save toward,
right,
and you have one spouse that's always spending, then you're thwarting the plan that you said y'all came together to do together.
right.
So how can you walk together if y'all don't agree?
Right. I was thinking about that. Amos 3:3. So, and that ties in also to like, okay, if a person likes to work out and you don't, or if a person is health conscious, you know, there's certain foods they like some people are vegans,
Yeah.
and some people aren't. Those are conversations that, you know, are
And
going
some people can accommodate to that.
yeah,
Some people don't mind making 2 separate meals.
right,
You know, they're like, oh yeah, I can whip up something, you know.
Yep.
And they're okay with that.
yep,
But just know that if that's the case, that's forever. Unless one of y'all change.
might change, yeah.
Unless one of y'all change.
Does a person like to cook? You know, if you know, if you're with somebody, do they like to cook, or are they a person that likes to eat out a lot? You know, you gotta have that conversation,
Yeah.
because if Wendy's and McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and everybody else is you know feeding you, and she can't cook, okay, can you live with that?
Yeah.
You know, some men like to cook. Some men, you know, don't have time to cook. Some men want their woman or their wife to cook, and that has to be a conversation, you know, to where both parties agree with that. So, but I think that's just some thoughts, some ideas. I mean, any other closing thoughts you may have?
No, not that I can think of.
All right. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of like gives you all a better understanding of us trying to unpack these things. But let us know what you think in the comments below. You know,
And give us some more topics.
give us some more topics to discuss.
Ideas.
Yeah, ideas. Let us know what you think about this video as well. Again, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell. Hopefully, everybody's staying warm. If you're watching this video after this Arctic wind that has come through.
Arctic freeze.
Arctic wind, Arctic freeze, still gonna be wind. Don't be petty. That's gonna be coming through our area as well. So let us know what you think about it in the comments below. So we're getting ready to go to Tarjay, as they call it, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our time. We thank you so much for yours. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.